morning, everyone. Welcome to Dr. Nature. As you know, every episode we talk about a different issue focused on our planet, and we bring a scientist specialized in that matter. Today we are going to talk about a very crucial subject related to the Earth's largest habitat. Do you know what it is? Yes?
Amazonia?
Wrong. Obviously, I'm referring to the ocean. The ocean covers most of our planet, regulates our weather and climate, provides most of our oxygen, and feeds much of the human population. It is also vital to the human health, providing jobs and enjoyment. Can you imagine your life without the ocean?
I guess so. Anyways, you still have water in your taps. I can't understand your point.
That's outrageous. Your ignorance is brutal. But as you seem to know so much about this topic, why don't you sit next to me and explain your point of view? Hopefully, you won't shock us more than you already did. But before you start, it's my honor to call to the stage the one and only Jacques Cousteau.
Wow.
Jacques Cousteau is a French scientist who studied the sea and all forms of life in water. He is by far the most famous undersea explorer of the 20th century, and he produced films and television series, including The Undersea World of Jacques Cousteau.
Hello everyone, it's such a pleasure to be here. I'm a huge fan of this show and I watch it every day at 7 p.m. with my friend Steve.
Your face seems familiar, but I have heard little about you. You're trying to save the oceans, aren't you? What a waste of time. You should be trying to end hunger and poverty. Well, the ocean isn't a priority.
Is it a scientific show or a comedy? We should know that in order to solve those problems, we need to save the oceans. Otherwise, our planet will die and won't be able to save those people in need. The sea, the man's unifier, is man's on you. The old phrase has no literal meaning. We are all in the same boat.
Apparently, the boat is perfectly fine. Wasting our time and energy on such a hypothetical catastrophe is just ridiculous. How can a so-called scientist with a degree in environmental engineering humiliate himself in a program like this?
Well, we have here two opposite points of view. I hope that in the end of this program we have reached an agreement. So, we should start by focusing on a much-spoken subject that directly influences the ocean's health. What is your opinion about climate change?
Lately, the ocean has absorbed around 80% of the heat added to the Earth system by climate change. Due to human activities that release these greenhouse gases. This has huge impacts such as sea level rise due to the melting of the poles, alterations in the frequency and intensity of tropical storms, and also changes in the ocean's circulation patterns.
Climate change is freezing cold in Viseu. We need global warming. I believe in clean air, immaculate hair, but I don't believe in climate change. As my idol Donald Trump once said, global warming is a concept created by and for Chinese in order to make US manufacturing non-competitive. So don't tell me about climate change. Tell me about real things. Tell me about fossil fuels. They are running out. Can you actually rely on renewable energy? Give me a break.
Yes, I know this sounds strange, but if we save the oceans, we'll be able to rely 100% on renewable energies and completely discard fossil fuels. I grew up around an ocean environment, and it's more the way I think about the environment in general and how I interact with other species. From an early age, I understood that everything in our planet is interlocked, and none of us, humans, plants, animals, can exist without the other. You really want to believe that climate change is a myth?
Well, I can't help but realize there is someone who lacks common sense. Hopefully, in the course of this show, that someone will reveal himself more informed. Moving forward, there's another issue we need to discuss, which is plastic and its influence in the oceans. Each one of us is connected to the plastic we use, and we are all responsible for how we use it. Everyone, everywhere, was sold a dishonest marketing concept, that we could use plastic, throw it away, and it would be gone forever. And what we want everyone to understand is that there is no way.
Plastic is the most durable material man has ever made, and every piece ever made by the man is still in our planet in some shape or form. Given that we are producing more than 300 million tons a year, you can see how that is becoming a problem for our planet. For example, a water bottle takes about 450 years to completely disappear from our planet. So if we throw a bottle on the oceans right now, today, you can still be polluting the waters of your great-great-great-grandchildren.
About plastic, I'm more aware. I know for sure that a lot of plastic debris breaks down in smaller pieces and is ingested by marine life. And it is thought that the significant amount sinks in seabed. But a lot of it just floats around. A simple walk on any beach, anywhere, and the plastic spectacle is present. However, I'm aware that some measures are already being taken, so we don't have to waste our time on this issue.
Very well. I have to disagree with you, because those measures aren't enough, and each and every one of us has to make some changes in his daily life. And now it's time to discuss some other topics. Ocean acidification and corals. Could you tell us a little about this?
So ocean acidification is caused by greenhouse gas emissions and is a major threat to our planet. Many human activities release CO2 into the atmosphere. The ocean absorbs some part of the CO2, and when it dissolves in the water, it creates a milk acid. This acid, even though it's a small portion, it makes a significant change in the water's acidity. It has major consequences such as the inhibition of shell growth in marine animals, which is very problematic because without their shell, they won't be able to survive, which can lead to their extinction. It also affects coral reefs because they are not able to build their skeletons.
Once I started watching a documentary about corals and stuff, but it was so boring that the only thing that got me through it was the actor Joshua Jackson. What a hottie. But now that you mention it, I do remember some information about something called coral bleaching. When corals are stressed by changes in conditions such as light, nutrients, and temperature, they expel symbiotic algae living in their tissues, causing them to turn completely white. Isn't that right?
Turns out you're not as ignorant as I thought you were. Coral reefs are one of the most unique and diverse ecosystems on Earth. They support many species by giving them food and shelter. They're also very important because by studying them, scientists have found new medicines that were revolutionary for medicine in the 21st century. Healthy coral reefs also contribute to local economies through tourism, and they also prevent erosion, property damage, and loss of life. So it's imperative that we try to save coral reefs as soon as possible.
I couldn't agree more, Professor. The world has lost roughly half of its coral reefs in the last 30 years. Coral reefs support a quarter of all marine species as well as 500 million people around the world. We are losing them really quickly, much more quickly than I think any of us could have ever imagined. Even if we could halt global warming now, the scientists still expect that more than 90% of corals will die by 2050, just 32 years from now. And without drastic intervention, we risk losing them all.
Losing them all? What do you mean by losing them all? Haven't you heard about the Great Barrier Reef? That thing has more than 2,000 kilometers. And if that's really true, it better not happen before I visit that reef. I mean, you can swim, sail, snorkel, and dive just in one place. Hold on, we can't lose them all. I've got to show them to my kids one day. I know you scientists are all testing new theories and making progresses, but I'm not sure what ordinary people like me can change in their daily lives in order to make a difference. And I believe that's why most people don't help to save the planet. They think that their actions will be so small that they won't even matter.
I understand what you mean. That everyone can help, without exception. When those people live far, far away from the coast, can help save coral reefs. You just need to reduce your carbon footprint to combat climate change and to try to maintain cool ocean temperatures. Try walking, driving, cycling, taking the public transportation instead of driving, or simply plant a tree or join a forest conservation group.
At an earlier stage, I was completely pessimistic about the future of our planet. But then I came across with some studies which gave me hope. Bleaching doesn't have to be a death sentence. Not every reef that experiences a stressful event is destroyed. Some healthy reefs, called the resilient reefs, are capable of bouncing back. The Conservancy's work is focused on increasing the likelihood that reefs can recover when faced with a major disturbance, like a climate-related event.
In many grounds, we are on the ground, we are working with many countries to establish resilient marine protected area networks by putting all we know about reef resilience into the design management of marine parks. We're also trying to develop and implement other management strategies in order to stop coral bleaching.
What? Can you please speak English? I have no clue what you're talking about. Anyways, what about plastic issues? I think that's a major problem. We should start by cleaning the ocean and taking care of the beach. And leaders should restrict or even ban several forms of plastic products. I think that should be our starting point and not some experiments in corals.
Um, Before you keep going, you should know that all the measures you have referred are already implemented. There are many efforts underway to reduce plastic pollution in the sea, including measures such as the cleaning up of beaches and water bodies and preventing the entry of plastic into the ocean in the first place. We are also making some progresses in terms of treating wastewaters across the world, and we are increasing awareness about the negative impacts of plastic.
Oh, actually, you have a point. I really should have informed myself before arguing against you. Now I really feel the duty to help and try to save the ocean, and even find a national organization and consider giving financial support or even volunteer for hands-on work or advocacy. I've heard about this project, Education, and I'm really interested in joining it. It's a European project highlighting the importance of research on the impacts of climate change at sea, with particular emphasis on the Atlantic Ocean and Baltic Sea.
That's such a good idea. I've already met one of the members of that group, and she's very hardworking and concerned. We will need to understand that our only job is to salvage human nature. We are facing a formidable enemy in the field right now. It is the hunters, and to convince them to leave their guns on the walls is going to be very difficult.
We are tied to the ocean, and when we go back to the sea, whether it is to sail or to watch, we are going back from whence we came. Don't forget to make safe, sustainable seafood choices, and don't purchase items that exploit marine life. That's it for today's show. Thank you so much, Jacques Cousteau, for coming here today. It was such a pleasure. And thank you also to this lovely lady who was brave enough to express her point of view. See you next program, and remember, nature is for us. Are we for nature?
So this is our presentation, and I hope you have enjoyed and become more acquainted with the severity of this situation, because we highly depend on the ocean, and without it we will perish.
To reverse and stop resolve the scenario, we must act now. We can't waste any more time. So help the planet, not only for you, but for the next generation.
Although we gave you a glimpse of some solutions, if you don't stand up now, the end will be near. It all depends on you.